Spring is probably one of my favourite times of the year, and especially after such a wet, dull winter. I feel that the touch paper's been lit and everything's going to come to a crescendo, and it's surprising how quickly time marches on in the spring. The lawns need special care at Glyndebourne because they are used by the audience to picnics. There's lots of picnics go on the lawn. So the first thing we do is roll them, which makes it easier for the mower. The first mow is always very challenging. The grass is probably longer than you would normally let it grow. It's very damp still from the winter. But once you start the mowing process, the lawns will dry out. We bear that in mind when we mow the lawns. All the clippings are collected. And the borders, it's just literally preparing, adding compost and just conditioning the soil ready for the plants to be added.
So I'm Alex and I'm a gardener here at Glyndebourne. This is the blue border. This is an important time of year to get everything looking really nice. So this focus for this bed is blue. There's sort of tinges of purple, but yeah, so it's quite uniform like that. And the bed next to it that I look after is the white border. So we try and buy in as little as possible, and a lot of the plants that will be going into these beds, we sow the seeds ourselves. So we've already started sowing a lot of seeds and they've started germinating, and it's really exciting. So when it's in full bloom, there's lots of different flowers and lots of different heights. It's really important to keep it looking attractive for the whole of the festival season. This will have flowers sort of coming up in succession throughout the whole period. The greenhouse is a really magical place. I get really excited when I see a seedling come through, and it's just sort of that magical thing of you've planted a seed and it's actually worked, and it's really satisfying. Now that the spring is finally here, it's just sort of like a sign of hope, and all of the green coming through, it just sort of gives you that boost you need after the winter to get ready for the season.
One of my favourite things about the gardens is the wildlife. It's one of those things that's uplifting every day in my life. It could be a bird, it could be an insect. It's just those moments that are magical that you can share with yourself, and it's just uplifting. I tell you what I like about the sheep actually is when they're born, the bleats are sort of, worried, and then give it a week or two, they form these posses of hooligans that run around, and it's such fun to watch. Much braver than they were a couple of weeks back when they were newborn, and I find that fun. I think this time of the year it's just, I'm feeling the warmth on my face, and it generally cheers people up, and I do encourage people that work here at Glyndebourne to come out and enjoy this point, which a lot of them do. We've added more meadow areas, wildlife corridors we call them, and it's just a sort of somewhere for wildlife to move on. So we're creating these corridors that can be connected by wildlife. We have several main orchids here. The first one we have is the early purple, the tway blade or the man orchid, which also is around the lake mainly. And then later on from that we get the pyramidalis orchid that are everywhere, and then if you're really lucky we get them, but they're very hard to spot, and that's the bee orchid. I think one of the most amazing things about the bee orchid, which is why you get this buzz when you see one, as you would a kingfisher, is the colour, the form, the shape, that it literally looks like a bee to attract bees to pollinate. And it's one of nature's incredible things.